Welcome to Reinventions in Between, your go-to podcast for real stories of reinvention that happen between life stages, career changes, and living abroad. I'm Sara Kojola, life coach, intercultural trainer, and reinventions facilitator, helping people on their quest to what's next. I have reinvented myself a few times, and in the past 16 years, I have collected fascinating stories of change. In each episode, my guests will talk about why and how they took the leap and seized the opportunity to change their life. Let's begin.
In 2-3 years, we get assigned to a new post, to a new country. And I was thinking how I can, just my previous experience as running an office, how I can transform all that knowledge and my love of organizing and helping people, because basically that's what I feel that I was doing, was an office manager to support the staff, the team, and helping and getting organized, how I'd be able to just continue doing that. And then I looked into a course, which was how to work from home. And then I came upon another course, which was digital business management. And so I took that course, and that was about systems and operations and team management and project management. And I loved it. And I felt like this was exactly what I like doing, especially systems and operations. And I felt like this was like just God invented this for me. So also it's portable. And, once a company is registered, I can just take it to one country to the other. And all I need to do is just plug in my computer and keep working.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to introduce you today, my guest, Brigi Perez. She's sitting in sunny Bahrain, and I'm sitting in Melbourne. We have a few hours of difference. In fact, you can see that for those who watch on YouTube, is evening and it's daytime where Brigi is sitting, plugging into this very interesting conversation we are going to have. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really excited, and I'm happy that we had a chance to do this. I'm excited.
Definitely. Your story is so interesting. And I'm always very grateful to every guest that comes in to the show and shares their story, because there's so much to learn, and every experience inspires other people who are listening. And it's a real gift. Yes. So shall we start? I'm curious to know about how and what happened and how you came about to reinventing yourself.
Yes, of course. Yes, let's start.
What happened, and what were the circumstances when you first came up with your reinvention idea?
So before I got married, I used to be an office manager for big companies like Coca-Cola and Maleiv Hungarian Airlines back in Hungary. And I was an office manager and a PA. So that's how I started. And I have, as you can see, 20 plus years experience in running an office. And then I married my husband, and he's American, and he works for the U.S. State Department, which means that we get different assignments. In 2-3 years, we get assigned to a new post, to a new country. And I was thinking how I can, just my previous experience as running an office, how I can transform all that knowledge and my love of organizing and helping people, because basically that's what I feel that I was doing, was an office manager to support the staff, the team, and helping and getting organized, how I'd be able to just continue doing that. And then I looked into a course, which was how to work from home. This was before pandemic. But this lady, she's a military wife, and she was teaching military wives and just any other stay-at-home moms how to work from home. She was teaching virtual assistant tasks. So I did that course, and it's just got my foot wet, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I started doing social media. I had a few clients, and then after that, I built my business. So my company is registered in the US. And then I wanted to move on to see what's out there, because social media, as much as I enjoyed doing the first few years, I didn't think that it was so close to running an office. And then I came upon another course, which was digital business management. And so I took that course, and that was about systems and operations and team management and project management. And I loved it. And I felt like this was exactly what I like doing, especially systems and operations. And I felt like this was like just God invented this for me. So also it's portable. And, once a company is registered, I can just take it to one country to the other. And all I need to do is just plug in my computer and keep working.
Amazing. Yeah, I was going to say moving every 2, 3 years is not easy and must be challenging. And especially if you have to find another place, another company to work for, and then starting over again. And this way you own your own business and you can do and plug it in. You just continue finding or working with your clients, which are always where they live, or you can work
Yes.
remotely, basically.
Yes, yes, it makes it so much easier. And it gives such a great continuity to my life, which I greatly appreciated, because I can really feel, before I had my business, that was when we moved, I kind of felt lost, because it takes a while to get your community going. And every country we move to, I usually join the American Women's Association, which does give me a community of like-minded ladies. And I always love going to their meetings and making new connections and new friends. But work-wise, I felt like I still need to be doing something. I want to be doing something. I want to be helping others. Since I gone through this journey of, setting up the business, I just feel like I still have so much to offer. That's why I started it.
Oh, of course. And one of the most important thing about these podcasts, the huge of sharing with who is listening, is that every experience that we go through in our life, may it be personal or professional, every experience becomes an asset once you look at it from a different perspective, and you analyze what you have learned and what were the challenges that you overcome, then it becomes something that it can help others overcome as well.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate what you were sharing before about this topic. For sure, changing in the life of expat or those who work in the military and in the diplomatic sector, it has been this constant disruption, right? Especially for the spouse who is following, because the spouse is not assigned to a new job usually.
Yes.
So the person who has the assignment finds a continuity, but maybe a different location and a different team, but that's more or less the same job. But the spouses who are following are left with that challenge of recreating and starting over in every place. And I'm glad that you mentioned about what's your strategy and how you plug in into the community of the American ladies every time. And this is exactly what I was going to suggest and I use as well for when I help new families who move to a different place. Those type of communities and are the places to go to start socializing, making connection both in person or for a professional purpose. So this has helped you, I suppose, also in terms of networking and finding new collaboration for your job.
Mostly these are like social events that we do. Per se, my clients were either referred to me, and they were, I didn't have an international client base yet. It seems like I'm getting, because we also have a big online community with foreign service spouses. So, because I see they are really struggling, and feel like I have this mission to help, because some of them have small kids, and then they have their community, even if they don't work, but from school they make friends, right? How they have school play dates or something like that. But some wives that the kids are already grown up or they moved out, I see them all the time. Like even here in this post, I met ladies. They're really, really nice, and they just struggling to reinvent, to figure out what they're going to do to reinvent themselves. And I offer them to do, maybe we could do a business club where, because they all have ideas what they would like to do. And so now we're meeting. I mean, now it's a summer break, so but back in September we will go back and figuring out, supporting each other. Who, who, I mean, one lady wants to write. There's just so many things. One lady is a psychiatrist. There's just, it's just so many talents. Like most of the ladies, they were lawyers before, or have like high educations, and then they feel just lost. Yeah, so they're looking for their purpose. So I feel like I'm here to help.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Exactly. Our two missions, I feel they are really aligned because we want to help the same type of people that are in the same difficult spot of finding a new way of seeing their opportunities, not just
Yes.
from a place of lack, but it's difficult to see abundance of opportunities when you just see obstacles in front of you and your profession is not viable in a new country, for example. We talk in every episode, there are some examples of job titles recognition or visa requirement or limitation or the language barrier. These are really some of the obstacles that spouses find. And then, as you said before, mentioned before, when the spouse is also a parent, having children to care is very important and takes a lot of time in a new country. So yes, I love how you prepare to help others and you really focus on what is important for them. And absolutely all the experience that have been acquired in the past for every person can be used as transferable skills. And on the opposite, sometimes they can start something completely new. Have you find any of these stories inspiring for yourself as well? Did any of these people that you met in the past give you some idea of what was your experience?
Yes, they're amazing. It's, the most little things, they think it's like a little hobby they love doing. And then they just need a little bit of push, like a little bit of encouragement, saying that, because I think it is really hard. I consider myself, I'm an introvert, and it's hard to put myself out there. Some people, it's just hard to have the confidence saying, oh yeah, I'm good enough. Like, for example, one lady, she loves crafts. She loves doing crafts and crocheting and just hand things. And so we had this discussion saying, oh yeah, she just does it for herself. And so now, we encourage her to, we look through the local bazaars and local events and see how we can help her, to support her, to just put her items out there and sell it. So she's looking into, making this as a business instead of just crocheting when she needs to. Maybe it's a long time project for her. And that's also something that she could take from one country to the other.
Oh, yes. And I see how your personalized work would be perfect for every client you would like to support. Do you want to explain a little bit in detail what you do with this new career?
Sure. So thank you. So yes, I mentioned that I started with working as a VA and then a digital business management, and I really stuck on systems and operations. So this kind of led me in a way. I've been figuring it out how I can do my best work, or who I can support best. And they came to, I've been happened to work with solopreneurs, starting their business, and they're working on setting up their systems and operations. So I help them figuring it out. I use Notion for that guide, but it's not necessarily that they will need to go with Notion, but it's just, it's just one option. Or even somebody who's been in business for a while and they're ready to delegate tasks to a VA to hire someone, or they would like to hire team members. And I help them set up something in the background that they can communicate easily with their team, the team members, or someone who they'll be working with. And recently, I was just find out I was diagnosed with ADHD, adult ADHD, which was a big aha moment for me. And it made so much sense now from being a child and how I was studying and how I'm dealing with things, that I found that, yeah, my brain works just a little bit differently. And also, so I'm trying to help those who, who just maybe will do a little bit different things, but it's not like a criteria. I work with anyone, but I found that just the way, for example, if I may say this story, last week I was attending a summit, and they were talking about most productivity systems. They work, or project management systems like ClickUp and Asana, they work linear. So they would work like, you have a deadline, you set a deadline, then you work backwards from the deadline, and then you set tasks, say task 1, and 2, 3, and then so on, then you reach your goal. But for somebody who's neurodivergent, doesn't work like that. My brain does not work like that. My brain goes, no deadline. And my brain goes 1, 5, 6, 8, and then I get lost. So I feel like we need a lot of help to just to stay on track. So a little bit differently.
No, this is going to be such a plus for all the people who have a non-linear way of doing things, because you know exactly the context and how it can be challenging for them, and how instead finding a personalized solution could be ideal. That's a great plus, and I really think that people will be drawn to seek out for your help to help them find a profitable way to work and not feeling lost. I was thinking also about like multi-potentialite people, those who have different interests, often are labeled as not being efficient or not working linearly.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's difficult for them also to keep the focus and get motivated as well, stay motivated,
Yes.
on their task.
And also managing energy is a big thing for us. So for example, planning, instead of I just found, like in the past years that I've been working online, and I took so many seminars, webinars, trying to learn, and then I realized that it's always for people with linear thinking. It just did not work for me, and that's why I'm trying to see if maybe I can help people that they think the same way than me, and they don't have to go through all that. I'm here, handing out a helping hand. So, for example, what I was trying to don't make it too long, but for example, to-do lists, most people have their list is like just one long list, and it's one long to-do list. And then when you sit down, you're trying to work, your brain needs to go and think of what are you going to do? That's so much brain power to make all these decisions that day when you're trying to do it. Which are you going to do? That would not work for somebody like me, because it would be too draining. You don't want to make decisions when you're trying to plan. So I'll plan out in the morning. I plan out or you can do it in the beginning of your week or at the end of your week, and just sit down and plan your weeks. And I usually suggest maybe pick like 3 most important things for each day that you're planning to do, and sort of block them by hour, and just plan, okay, for 2 hours, I'm going to do this, 2 hours, I'm going to do this, and actually use a Pomodoro timer.
I see.
that it helps the time, because that's also one of our kryptonite, I guess, that estimating time, how long something will take.
Well, you want to give a little explanation about the Pomodoro technique for those who don't know. And also, I realized that not everyone might know Notion. If you want to explain a bit about these 2 tools.
Yes, sure. So the Pomodoro timer, how it works is you set it. I'm happy to share my source. It's a free resource. You can download it to your app, to your desktop. Also on the phone now it's available. It's an app. And what it will do is it will just set the time. Say you can set it like two blocks, two schedules, 25 minutes. So for 25 minutes, you focus on what you're doing, and then it counts down. So it's a counting down timer. And then you have 5 minutes break. And then I use that break just to take a glass of water, because sometimes when I'm hyper focusing, I don't even think about the time, or I forget to eat.
Or when you are
And
in the flow, exactly.
yes, when I'm in the flow, exactly. Yes. So yeah, I just love that. And you can just kind of ignore the timer. You can set it for like 40 minutes if you have a longer period of time that you need to finish your work. So first, when I saw it, I thought it was a little bit. I felt stressed for,
Oh,
oh my
okay.
gosh, I only have 25 minutes. But now that I'm used to working with this timer, I really love it. I really love it. Even my morning task, like I like journaling in the morning, reading a little bit, and working out just to move my body, do anything. I have these planned, and I also use the timer. So 25 minutes, and then I'm done. And it's really, I highly recommend it.
Oh, super. Well, I learned that we need about 2 weeks of time to incorporate a new habit. And even if it's something that we don't feel comfortable at first, and if we keep doing it for at least 2 weeks, we start seeing the results. And then once it is a new habit, we can continue and go on with what we've learned. Yes, thank you for explaining.
Also, if I can just share a tip, if you like to implement a new habit, I learned that it's easier if you tie it to a current habit you do. For example, if you have coffee in the morning,
Mm. I
you
was
tie,
thinking about coffee. You read
see,
my mind.
when you have your coffee, like that's why I started. Okay, so what can I tie? Because you immediately when you wake up, you're gonna go for your coffee mug, and then you're gonna, make your coffee, right? And then so you can think of something that you want to tie with this. So while you sip your coffee, you can easily either start just reading a book. So just say, I'll read one chapter, 25 minutes, or two chapters. It depends how fast you're reading, and then done. So, or you pick the journaling, and then just try that for 1 week to see how that progress. And then if you like doing it, then
Oh, this
just
is a great
continue.
tip. I will share in the show notes. Thank you. I see. So this is progressing, attaching a new habit to an ongoing one, and
Yeah.
see the progression. That's great. I did
Yes.
something similar, not attaching, but I started finding small chunks of time and work dedicated to reading, because I usually love reading when I travel, but I don't travel so often. Or I was commuting on public transport a long
Yeah.
time ago, and that was my time to read. And
Read.
in the evening, now either I'm registering, I'm recording podcasts, so I don't have much time in the evening, and then too tired, I won't remember what I'm reading. So now I read exactly about these new habits, just 10 minutes a day, and find the time maybe after lunch or after a specific moment in the day. But better to do these small tasks every day and repeat, instead of just randomly find the time when we want during the week, is way more difficult.
Also, I think the key is the small steps, what you said, 10, 15 minutes or 25. I mean, however, you can schedule in, and only try one at the time.
Yeah.
Because if I may suggest, because if you're trying too much, you're going to give up, because it's just hard to change it. So once you have it, as you said, you try it maybe 2 weeks, then you add something else to see, because then you have the habit. The habit's not just going to be drinking coffee in the morning. The habit's going to be drinking coffee and reading.
And reading.
And then your next one could be journaling. And then maybe you add meditation to that, and then working out.
That would be my ideal routine in the morning. In winter, I'm so lazy. I like to stay a little bit 5 minutes more in bed before.
Yes, we all do. We all do.
Yes, tricky. I saw another common trait about our two professions. You were saying about how you basically customize your solution for the client and how every different need is important instead of just having one system that fits all. Similarly, in coaching as well, which is not mentoring and is not consulting, we don't give a solution to the client, but rather we work with the client with their needs, and it's the client through the coaching process that is able to find what works exactly for the client itself. And we ease the process of just peeling the onion and finding the values that are the north or the compass for the client that would be this way, highlighting the way, and it can be sure that the work he's doing or she doing is aligned to what worked for them. You highlighted many values that you honored when you in the questionnaire that you sent me back when I sent the questionnaire to my guest for the show. Many personal professional values that you honor when you decided to start this new career. Do you want to mention some of them?
I think generosity, one, which is I'm always trying to be generous, and I think it's coming from my mom. I always trying to over deliver, and just I consider myself a kind person, and I think kindness we don't have enough in this world right now.
Yeah.
And I think everybody can use some kindness. Sorry, before I get too emotional, let's go
Oh.
to and maybe integrity, that I always do what I promise that I will do. I won't promise something that I know I cannot deliver on. And yeah, I like working with people that they will put the effort into it, and then so we get results. Like results driven would be maybe the next one that I would mention, that let's create something beautiful if you're ready, and you will be putting the time in and the effort
Oh,
to learn.
nice. And when you said creating something beautiful, to me, it came to mind the vision board that you mentioned in your as a reference.
Yes.
I really love that. And I think this is also going to tap into your creativity, right? Because
Yes.
everyone is creative. And one of the thread that comes out often in this podcast, which is becoming a study as well, because I see so many common threads, and creativity is something that is coming out. And if the person is not expressing their own creativity is coming and knocking at the door in a way. And I have these beautiful, please tell me if I can share it in your episode. I have this beautiful vision board that you shared with me that is so colorful and full of beautiful highlights of words that are important for you. How did you start doing this work? What really talked to you when you started putting words and images together?
Yeah, well, that vision board has a little bit of story. Just it's a work in progress, right? Like it's always changing. But what I'd like to mention here, that so you mentioned that we live here in Bahrain. We lived here 9 years ago, and I loved it so much. This was our first post, and that vision board started. I started that vision board after we moved. And I put everything that it was important to me on this board, and like the healing, having friends, a community. I used to do yoga here with a really lovely lady who was my yoga teacher, and I just the feeling of living here, and then just the joy. I wanted to create that and take that with me after we moved. So each country we went to, I was always looking for signs and things that to bring this this happy feeling back. And that was my goal, to come back. And the reason it looks like this, and it is every time. So it's 9 years, and now we're back, and I'm just over the moon that we're able to come back here and spend a few more years. But yeah, that's all about my so I just encourage everyone to really, really start. You can do it electronically if you don't. And I'm old school. Yes, I did cut out pictures from magazines and just put it. But my goal was really just to. I did not even dream of moving back here. I had no idea, that it's ever possible. And yes, it's been 9 years, but I'm just so happy. So yeah, I would see my husband. You see a picture of me when I was a child, and that reminds me of loving myself as a child. I mean, we have some memories that maybe a little bit harder to remember. So they're just little reminders. Or I'm not sure if you have one specific picture you want me to talk about. I also a consultant or a practitioner, I guess, for Access Bar, and the one long sentence. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. That is from Access Bar.
Such a buzz spot that it gets me so curious. Can I share the image?
Yes, of course, of course.
I was going to share maybe here in the during the recording. Trying to see the best way to do it, and I did have an Access Bar session.
Oh, you did?
I love it. It's so funny. It's not funny. It's synchronicity, actually. Plain.
Yes, yes.
Again.
Yeah, this the sentence, this printout, I got from the lady who did that first section with me, and then it just kept working and working. And then when I moved, I took a course, and now I'm also a practitioner for for Access Bar.
Wow.
So yeah, and then the retreat on the left side is my dream was to do a retreat, and now in November I'm going to Malta for a writer's retreat, which was one of my dreams. So everything, honestly, on this board is coming true.
Oh, it's amazing. So for those who are just listening, I'm showing in the video Brigi's vision board that she shared with me. I was particularly called by the round sentence in the middle, I am a creator. And it's interesting because in the School of Coaching I study, it's called the Coactive Coaches. And the main motto is that everyone is naturally resourceful, creative, and whole.
Okay.
And so again, creativity plays a big role, and you have I am a creator in the middle of the board. It's amazing.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with me this information. I really enjoy seeing how we can use our talents and our resources to collect the fruits of what we are capable of doing, and creativity. And if we don't give ourselves the time and space of this playfulness, and you mentioned before the child, we won't be able to have a fulfilled life, not happy and just. It will be difficult to progress or to do anything with meaning, I suppose.
Yes. Yes. We definitely need to give ourselves joy, and just let our creativity and just have fun. Just too many serious things are happening in the world, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You have to have fun.
Absolutely. I have a couple of more questions if you have time. I try to combine them together. I always ask, I don't want to make sound everything too easy, because changing career is not always a straight line. And we talked about that before, about the linearity as well. And we highlighted the challenges as well. But I would like to ask you, what were the learning that you got from the process of your career change? Is there something that you want to share and suggest and recommend to the listener that are maybe embarking on a similar journey?
If I may suggest something, don't be scared. I mean, it is going to be scary. It is going to be take the first steps. It is going to be challenging, but I think with the right community around us, which is now after COVID, I know I hate when people bring this up, but it's true. There's so many more resources now for online communities. I do really tap into that since I'm always moving. And even if I find my community locally, and in 2 years' time, I need to change. So it is tough. But yeah, I think just having courage, yourself that yes, you can do it. Whatever you put your mind to it, and you will get the right support. And you just need to have faith that it's just going to work out the best way.
Oh, I love your positivity. Yeah, you really, you really are giving me goosebumps. 2 years is crazy. I'm just starting feeling a little bit settled now that it's been 6 years here in Australia. Australia. I can imagine changing country and community every 2 years. You're
Yeah.
such a powerful, strong woman.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I might ask you a last question, which is a tradition in my podcast, and it's a bit fun. Do you have a sliding door moment? Have you ever thought, oh, if I'm not changing career now, it's going to be different?
I just wanted to contribute. So, and as I mentioned, I just love helping. I love community, and yeah, I just thought, why not give it a try?
Give it a try, exactly. Otherwise, it would have not happened.
Yes.
I,
And
I,
yes, of course, there were times that I said, okay, I'm going to give up because it's not going to work.
oh,
There are challenges, when you don't get maybe clients and you trying your best and but I think just don't blame yourself because I know you're doing your best. And just as I mentioned, just have faith that it's going to turn around. It has to be. It cannot. It's like a roller coaster. It's always going to go up.
I love this metaphor, Brigi. Thank you so much. It was
Thank you.
so interesting to get to know about you, your work, and what was your experience, and what brought you to create this beautiful business, helping other people in the same situation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a blast being here. Thank you. I really enjoyed.
Thank you. It was another great story for everyone who is listening. I'm sure, I'm not hoping, I'm sure, I'm totally sure that you will get lots of inspiration from Brigi's story. You will find all the information in the show notes and also the link to Brigi Media Kit that she gracefully put together and she's willing to share with us all. Do you want to give your website where people can find you?
Sure. My website it's my name, brigiperez.com. And I'm just working on rechanging a few things. But yes, you can get in touch with me there. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And just schedule a coffee chat, and then I would love to get to know anyone who's interested learning about Notion or learning about what I do, and to see maybe how I can help you.
Yes, get in touch with Brigi. She mentioned so many interesting names that I'm not aware of. I need to discover a little bit more. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me as a guest. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Now I want to hear from you. What's your number one takeaway from my conversation with my guest? We would love to hear your comments. You'll find all the links in the show notes. If you're curious about reinvention, go download my free guide, Your First Steps. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll never miss the opportunity to spark curiosity and get inspired on how you can navigate change in your own life.